What's up, YouTube? This is Car Addict. Starting the video off in the truck because I got to get some stuff from Home Depot so that my wife will get home and think I did something today. Taking the new pup with me, and he's still young enough that he makes it quite inconvenient to bring him because he climbs all over instead of just laying down. But anyways, this is going to be the conclusion to the MAF scale tuning, and I honestly don't even remember everything I said in the first part. I remember some of it though, so if I repeat myself, oh well. Anyways, one of the things I don't think I said is when you're taking any of these logs, besides the one where you're just sitting in a parking lot idling, any other one you're taking, get up on your V2 screen the start log button. If you're using a 1.2 or a 1 and you got your laptop, hover the mouse over the record button so you can just reach over and hit the thumb pad, because you want to be on the throttle having fuel trims applied when you hit record, or hit record on the V2, and you want to stop recording before you let off, because the way I do it is I look up the CSV in a CSV viewer, surprise, surprise, and then I sort it by choose everything, choose on everything, because yeah, ratchet straps, that's a dog toy. Anyways, I sort it by the voltages, and then I average out the trims that were applied. That's where I get my change from. So basically, if you take the log and then you let off and you coast, well, your engine is still going to be drawing air, so there's still going to be a mass airflow voltage, and it'll even be above the idle reading because the RPM will be drawing so much air, even with the throttle plate at 6%, and then it'll be applying a zero fuel trim though, not because zero is the correct amount, but because it's not worried about it. It cut the fuel, so you're just coasting. So when you average it all out, there's going to be 10, 20, 50, whatever, a bunch of zeros, depending on how long it takes you to stop recording, to average into it all. And if you would end up with a 3% trim, but you average 50 zeros in there, it might come up with a 1% or something. I mean, basically, you just don't want zeros, unless it's a true zero, which you might run across also if you have an accurate spot in your scale. And my housing is probably quite a bit bigger than yours, because I assume most people still run around with the stock size. If you have the race version of the PRL Cobra, at least Honda should be releasing tunes for that in the future, pretty soon I think. If it's not already out, they've at least announced they would. But I believe yours should be quicker to react to change than mine, because since the airspeed through my housing is so much slower because of the much larger diameter, the changes in velocity or flow, whatever, take longer to have an effect on the sensor. So when I get on it and I start requesting a bunch more air, it takes a second, and the ECU will apply a pretty big trim, sometimes like 10 or 11, but then it quickly will stabilize down to 1 or 2. And if I give it a change in throttle again, like I request a lot more air, the trim goes a little bigger, but then it equalizes out. Slow, smooth pulls through the curve show it pretty good. I did go back to my change before this last one so that I have more changes to make, so that there's more to show, although I'm going to assume no matter what, you're always going to have changes to make. I don't think you're ever going to get your scale to say 0 trims all the way across. I mean, if it's possible, it seems like it would just take way too much damn time. And as long as, ow, shit, dogs' teeth are sharp when they're this little. As long as I'm within 5, I'm okay with that. Ooh. So in a second I'll be in Home Depot, get what I need, get home, get the car, and start doing the pulling of the data, go over that, and then get inside on the computer and show the changing of the data. So anyways, I'll see you back when we get in the Honda. Alright, I'm heading out to get the car warmed up to get this done. The wife just got home with the kids, so hopefully this doesn't take too long, so I can go home and spend a little time. They've been with their grandparents for a couple days. Alright, so hopefully you watched that first video and did the couple things I told you to. If not, go watch that video real quick. It's only like it's 8 or 9 minutes, I think. It's really not that long. Watch that, come back here. It'll help you out a little bit, I think, anyways, to see that first part. Now, if you're still here, and you've seen that already, I'm going to get the car started in this parking lot, not moving, and then I'm going to connect to my laptop. So, I'll see you on the computer in a second. Warning. The film you are about to see is for entertainment purposes only. The maker of this video does not condone or endorse copying this behavior. Do so at your own risk. Yeah, nobody's told me this is the right way, nobody's told me this is the wrong way. It's the way that I did because it seems like it made sense, and it brought my trims from over 40s when I installed this intake down to an acceptable level. And seeing as the mass airflow housing is the only thing I changed, it made sense that that would be the only thing I modify. Enjoy. Alright, and actually before I start the car, go into main parameters, MAF scale. Now that voltage I found that I'll never be below really was 1.3 on my setup. I would write this down, but I don't have a pen or anything in my car, so I'm going to send myself a text with this information. But I'm going to take note of 1.289, 1.21, 1.13, 1.05, and 0.98. I made a note of those voltages because what's going to happen in a second. Start the car. Okay. I'll get Ktuner plugged in. Notice right here I got voltage and field trim. Well, my coolant's cooled off a little bit. I'm going to cruise around the parking lot just to completely get up to normal temperature. Alright, that's pretty good. So, idling at 1.05, so the 0.98 or whatever probably won't even matter. I'm going to go ahead and hit record, just idling right here. And I'll sit here for, let's say, 20 seconds, which that's a lot of time, but so there's some 0.98s in there. Alright, so then my next step was 1.05, so I'm going to try to give it just enough throttle. This is hard. It's almost impossible. I'm trying to hold it at 1.05, and it's pretty much impossible. Like, let's watch this. It's not even reading that I'm giving it throttle. And it's too high. So, it might be impossible for some of them. Do what you can. Okay, so we'll screw 1.05, I'll go to 1.13. Gotta have a really smooth foot here. So then I'm just going to sit at 1.13. Okay, the next one's 1.21. Okay, then 1.289. So basically 1.29. Alright, that's enough. So stop recording. And then that's it to get the data for the first little part of it. If I was at home or had connection, actually I forgot I have a hotspot on my phone. So, alright, so I'm done recording now. After I go over to the rename me tab, this is the log I just did. Okay, so I guess I'll save it just because, in case I want to bring it back. But my main concern right here is export data log to CSV, and whatever, I'll put it in here. And I'm actually going to, obviously I've tried to do this before, I'm going to overwrite these. Okay, I will go into a CSV viewer. Hope it's done saving by the time I get there. And I'm going to open idle. And I'm going to collapse some stuff so that I don't have to pay attention to it, because all I want to really see is, and obviously the one I have, if you click the header, it sorts it. All I want to see is mass airflow voltage. I'm trying to collapse it until I get the short-term field trims over here. And if you did what I said from the first one, you'll notice long terms are 0, so I don't have to worry about those because I don't let the car learn a long term. So I'm going to sort now the mass airflow voltage. I got my computer on like extreme battery saver to try to make it last while I'm out here, so everything's really slow. Now, back in Ktuner, in my tune, under MAF scale, 0.977, so basically 0.98. I'll look to see if I have anything at 0.98. I probably pulled longer than I needed to, but I just wanted to have a lot of data points to use. So the first instance where it's 0.98, I'm going to go to the short-term trim and click on it. Scroll down by page until 0.98 turns to 1. Oh, missed it. Okay, so right there. Shift, click it, Control C. I'll link to this calculator. You go to the average calculator, paste all of them in, calculate. So now for 0.98, a negative 8% is the average. So I will go into my scale, and at 0.98 right here, I will put negative 8. This number should change to 1.66. So 1.66 is 8% less than 1.805. Okay, so then I will go back in my scale, and I'll see after 0.98, it's the next one is 1.0546, so 1.05 or 1.06, one of those two. Let's see what it reads. Looking for 1.04 or 1.05 or 1.06, I mean. It's probably going to be 1.06. Let me see if it goes from 1.05 to 1.06. No, 1.07. So I'm going to take everything at 1.05. Okay. Hit them all. Go go to the calculator, clear everything, Control V to paste them, calculate it. So negative 3.6. So then I can go to my scale, and there, minus 3.6. Okay, then again in Ktuner, the next one is 1.13. So 1.13. Ooh, I got a lot of those. Okay, last instance of 1.13. Shift click it, Control C, go over to the calculator, clear everything, Control V, calculate. Okay, negative 3.4. So I'll go into here and put minus 3.4. Alright, back to Ktuner. The next one, 1.21. Back to here. Whoops, passed it again. Okay, 1.21. Find the last line with 1.21. Right there. Again, Shift, click, then Control C. Go over here to the calculator yet again and clear it. Paste it. Calculate it. So that was an average. I'll just say, negative 0.9. So let's see. What did it actually look like? Nope, I'm just going to put it in. Okay, negative 0.9. Negative 0.9. Trust my method. Trust my method. Negative 0.9. Okay, then 1.28. I don't know if I got many of those. I think I got a shitload. Never mind. Just kidding. 1.289, so we'll do 1.29. Get into your calculator, clear, Control V, calculate, negative 5. So then you go into your scale, negative 5. Okay, so now to put it into Ktuner, obviously, I'm going to drag it over here. Okay, so now at 0.97, we'll go there first. Okay, right there. So 1.8 used to be that, so now click here, Control C. Then I'll go double click right there at 1.8 and Control V, put it in. Come down here, click right there, Control C. Double click 2.12, Control V. 2.8, Control C. 2.9, Control V. So, and then every once in a while when you click on it and you're going over, just glance at 4.3585 so that when you go to change it, you know you're changing the right one and you haven't like skipped over one of these columns right here, because if you skip one, well, you're just causing yourself even more problems. So now I'm going to go ahead and flash this one just to get it going and see if the changes are what I wanted them to be. And then the entire process is the same way. I'm not going to show this part anymore. So then after, you can see how these are a math problem to get the answer, obviously. Well, sometimes when you copy and paste in a spreadsheet, if you copy and paste this value right here, How did that happen? Did I not do something right? C13 equals D13 plus 500. Okay, I was meaning to show you a different problem that arises when you copy and paste data that is created by an algorithm. That's an even newer problem than I was thinking was going to happen. So the point still remains, though, after you're done changing this part of your scale, you're going to want to highlight that part, Control C. Then over here, that's where you're going to change it, and you will right click, paste special, values only. So now those values are what used to be over here. Go ahead and erase those. So now next time you go to tune, you have a spreadsheet that starts off at your new values, and if you need to make a change, it'll give you a change off of your new value. Okay, so now I'm going to flash this to the car, and we'll start it up and see if the trims look any better. Alright, this is what made it possible. Syncing audio files to video files sucks, and the microphone on my laptop sucks. So I had to use my GoPro to create the audio to sync up to the screenshot, or the screen record. So it's flashing that map. So while it's doing that, I will go over the concept, I guess, of the next two data acquisition methods. Alright, so I've always used the side road by my house without the laptop. So I can't go that fast, and also I go real slow through the curve because I'm not watching it. Should help me this time because I have my laptop, and I'm at a road I can go a little faster anyways, but I get in third gear, real low RPM, like no throttle opening, and give it the tiniest bit of throttle opening, and then let the car pick up a little bit of revs, because your voltage isn't dependent solely on throttle position or solely on RPM or whatever. A lot of RPM with a closed throttle plate won't pull that much air. A low RPM with a wide open throttle plate can pull a lot of air. So you can have the throttle completely still, don't increase it or decrease it. The RPMs can climb and your voltage will climb. So you have to just know how to, like, you got to modulate the throttle to get the MAF scale to climb. If there's a point where you're not giving any more throttle and the RPMs aren't climbing anymore, well, you're not climbing through the scale anymore either, so you're going to have to give it a little more throttle. But I will do it on camera to show you getting it, but I'm not going to show you this tuning part again because it's the exact same steps as I just showed you. You just do it for the rest of the scale. So basically I can get from my 1.3 to somewhere in the mid 2s usually on the slow road before I run out of road. And to get the middle of the scale on up, we'll get on the freeway in like 5th gear, say, slow down to just below the speed limit, and then slowly give it throttle, roll on, speed up, and it'll climb through the scale pretty nice and smooth. If you just get on the freeway, put it in like 3rd gear and floor it, well, I mean, RPMs are way up top, plate's wide open, the MAF curve you pretty much are from where you're at, and then it just jumps to the top. You skip the whole damn thing, so that doesn't work. You got to be in a higher gear with more of a load that keeps the engine working at a lower RPM, so it's not drawing so much air and you're not skipping right to the top of the scale. If I use any wrong vocabulary, I don't care. Just understand the concept of what I'm trying to say, and don't give me any shit about it. Oh, and as you may be able to tell, I am in a different location because I got kicked out of an employee parking lot that has no signs mentioning anything about employee parking only, or at least the entrance I came in at, it says no RV parking, that's it. So I don't even think necessarily that I was not supposed to be there, but whatever. although I was at a casino with a laptop, with some weird spreadsheets open, this on my head, they probably thought I was trying to cheat with somebody inside. So maybe that's why they didn't want me there. Still not done flashing. Alright, so we're done flashing. We'll look at the trims in a second on those parts of the scale. And then I'll set my laptop on the seat to record the screen while I do the pull, but I'm not going to obviously have the headset on. I'll put the GoPro pointing at the V2 unit itself, so you'll see like the parameters I'm operating under at the time, and then you can see the video from the laptop to see that I was sweeping through the scale. Alright, let's get to it. Well, alright, everything's flashed. Get the car running. The car cooled off a little bit, so I'm just cruising around the parking lot again to get it warmed up. Alright, let's try disconnecting and reconnecting. There we go. I just had to hit, had to unpause it, apparently. Okay, so I'll go back to my parking spot. Alright, as soon as the trims come back, let's see what happens. I gotta admit that right there at idle, those ones always F me up. I feel like I need to make half the change it says or something, because although my trims do vary pretty good while I'm sitting there idling, so maybe I'll just give it another second to normalize. Seems to be getting pretty good. Let's see how far it goes the other way now. Slow down. Stop, stop, stop. Alright, so that's pretty steady, not bad. I think the next one was, I erased it off my phone. I think it was 1.05. .13. Okay, so that one's pretty good. Then it was 1.15. So that one's pretty steady. I think it was 1.21. So that was not too bad. And then it was 1.29, I think. So that one's not too bad. I don't know why 1.05 is so terrible. Because right there at idle, it's not bad. And all the rest were good, but that 1.05 was just garbage. Or was it 1.13 that was garbage? I mean, it is learning up again, so well, it's not going to go as high as last time. Maybe it just needed the old Italian tune-up on the two-step, and now she's good to go. Alright, so basically, it's all good except for that fluke right there at 1.05, but obviously you can see this is much better than it was. So now let's get the rest of the data. So, in a second, we'll get to the drive and get this over with. Normally, these videos are kind of fun. This one's been causing me some stress, I have to admit. So I will be happy when I no longer have this one on my plate. Look at that, idling at a combined 0% fuel trim. Right, and of course, right after I open my big fat mouth, it goes -1, +1, -3. Alright, whatever. Anyways, here we go. I gotta say, I picked a real shitty time of day to do this. There are so many cars on the road. My laptop's gonna die, so you're not gonna get much video of me climbing through the MAF scale. Not that that matters, because I'm pretty sure anybody who's watching me is smart enough to look at their laptop and see, hey, that's what voltage we got. So, anyways, here we go. Starting the screen record. Start the log, and I'm actually going to do this in second. Okay, starting at the 1.3 or so. 1.4. 1.45. 1.5. 1.55. 1.6. 1.62. 1.7. 1.77. 1.8. 1.85. 1.9. 2.3. Okay, I got 2.5 out of that one. The rest of the scale without the freeway. So now I don't think I'll be able to really, but I got screen recording. Okay, I'll get out here, get into third gear. I'm recording, but I'm not watching the Ktuner. Alright, so now start a log. Alright, so not 100% done, but I'm gonna end it here anyways because the laptop just died, so I can't record any more of the Ktuner info on the laptop. My SD card looks like it's probably about full. I noticed in the last one I wasn't doing my own using my own advice. I wasn't starting the log on the throttle and stopping it off, because I would forget to start the log or I would forget to stop the log. But when you're doing it, that's all you got to focus on, really. I am trying to focus on what I'm saying in my mind, make sure there's no cops around, watching for traffic, trying to get out and get everything timed right, because I got to hit record on a laptop, record on this, record on the GoPro, and start going, and there's just fucking car after car after car. And I try to shoot out in a gap in traffic and get everything going, and I just forget a step, and it's starting to piss me off, honestly, a little bit. So, anyways, you saw how to grab the data out of the CSV. You saw how to apply it into Ktuner, how to use the calculator and the spreadsheet for getting the actual change. You saw a little bit on how to get the data on driving. You saw how to get it on the low end scale by the idle. Now that should be enough to help you out. I'm sitting here idling 0, -1, -2, -1, 0, -1, -2, -1, 0. So idle's pretty much rock solid now. I mean, obviously not zeros. You're not gonna get zeros though, most likely. Every once in a while you'll get pretty damn close, but either way, now I'm just rambling bull crap. I'm probably a little bit delirious or something, I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking and hope that helps you. The spreadsheet I put on the other video, I'll share the same one here. Nobody said that it didn't work, so I assume it does. If not, let me know. I'll get the video up of the new headlight giveaway soon. The rest of my parts should be here tomorrow, I think. And then, of course, like usual, I'll have a huge backlog of crap to do to the car and no time to do it. So we'll see how that works out for me. Alright, so I will make one last note on this whole process. Basically, second gear, I think was too low of a gear for me to use because I ended up just screaming in RPMs, not getting very high in the scale because I wanted to sweep slow. If I started down low, give it a lot of throttle, I might be able to jump up in the scale and be higher in the scale as I climb through the RPMs, but it's just easier to climb slower through the scale without hauling ass or without sitting at 6 grand in a taller gear. You don't want to be in like 6th gear flooring it at 5 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour. You don't want to lug it like that, but you want to be in somewhat of a tall gear so that as you apply more throttle and start building more power, sucking more air, you're not accelerating so fast, which won't harm the data acquisition part of it, but it's going to harm your pocketbook if you get a ticket, for one. So that's all I'm going to say now. Goodbye for real. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. See you on the next one. Have a good night. I'm going to go have a drink.